All right. Hey guys, thanks for joining us tonight. As we oh man, we're in turn 6
That's right.
of the Nexus Game Lounge Warhammer 40K map campaign season 1. I'm Jason.
I'm Jared.
And we're here to tell you all about what's coming up here for turn 6.
Bring some protection because it's gonna get rough.
It is. Everybody has spent the last 5 turns advancing and preparing and building and testing out the strengths and weaknesses of the armies around them. And now, with 3 turns left in the campaign, it's time for all-out war.
Oh, it's war, it's the war.
So let's go ahead and take a look at what the actions that all of our players have submitted here for turn 6. So here we're going to look at, we're going to go right into the movement phase of our actions. So here we go. This is the map at the start of turn 6. Looks peaceful, right?
Not for long.
All right, so let's see. We've got a little bit of movement happening here. Starting with the Eldar.
Yeah, obviously they're gonna move into that new space that has a max of 8 from C1 to A1, just shoring up defenses there.
Yeah, now that here in turn 6, players are allowed to wrap the map. Those border territories are a little less secure than they were earlier.
Yeah, no longer can you rely on the security of Alaska, or was it there? Risk. Oh yeah, you're exposed. So you gotta make sure all of your bordering territories are defended.
All right, well, let's see how the rest of the players decided to do that. All right, so Tal's the Emperor shoring up E5 with a couple of force units.
And then we have just moving, trying to make an occupation move.
Yeah, they were trying to occupy F4. Not sure if that was a deal gone sour
it looks like
or what happened, but the Knights were they didn't go anywhere, so that's going to be a failed action.
Unfortunately, a failed occupation. That unit needs to be free.
That's right. So F4 was occupied.
And then the Tau are retreating back into the Tau Empire from I4 to I5, capping that region.
Yeah, they're going to build up I5, and then it looks like they're just going to abandon that I4 altogether, which is an interesting move this late in the game.
Oh, for sure, but also there's no resources there.
There are no resources there, that's true, but it's still worth 3 campaign points to hold the territory.
Of course. And then the Grey Knights are just going to shore up their own defenses from A6 to A5, which is the 1 force point.
Just 1 force unit, but that gives them, a nice round 6 force units in each of the 3 border hexes there. So he's preparing for potentially invasions coming from across the map, I think.
Can't trust the Tau, can't trust that chaos.
Oh, or the Tyranids. I mean, there's a lot of action over there. All right, so my Purple Death Army. So we started a WOG last turn with some sneaky shenanigans, taking over F2. And now we're going to shore up the point of our Orky spear by moving 5 force units from H1 all the way down to F2.
Tip of the spear.
Blood Angels.
Sons of Sanguinius are going to reinforce that area from C3 to B2. I guess that he really wants to make that Imperial interest just secure.
Yeah, either that or he's planning on something dastardly on the western side of the map.
I'm hoping for dastardly.
Okay. So that explains the Tau abandonment.
Some coordination going on here with the Tau.
Looks like they're making some room for the Tyranids, who were down to 2 hexes. So the Tyranids, who had 12 force units in J4, splitting that host in half, putting 6 of those force units into I4. That's a territory they've already consumed, so there's not a whole lot of value for the Tyranids there. But that's an extra hex and a little more options.
A little bit more breathing room for them.
All right, so let's back up a second here. So that's the end of the move round. So that's what the map looks like as far as movement goes.
Absolutely.
Let's get into the build round.
Oh, yeah.
This late in the game, I'm interested to see what people are putting their build points into.
Last turn, we saw some comms. We saw building resources. I'm hoping with comms come into play again.
You would think that people would really focus on like communications and defenses at this point of the campaign, but
absolutely,
we'll take a look. So here's the map after all of the moves have been accounted for. let's see where people start building. So right off the bat, Eldar building forces in D2, trying to build up their capacity in their border territory with all those Ultramarines.
Absolutely. You would hate to lose that, especially with the webway there, where you could just reach across the entire map. And then,
yeah, absolutely. Got to shore that up. So the Rivals of Khorne, the Demon Host Army, building up their resources in I6. Now that territory can hold 9 units, so having it produce 3 a turn for the next 3 turns is potentially a pretty beneficial move.
Absolutely, and he's been using that territory to its capacity. He's been throwing units across the map, taking more territories and making those really good attacks.
Absolutely. All right, Custodes. So the Adeptus Custodes in E4 are the current owners or holders of the ancient artifact. They're building up their forces in there, which is a smart move. They're going to want to have as many force units available to them as possible. But if they're going purely defense, there's only so much benefit since the battles are capped at 2,000 points. So anything above 8 force units is really only useful if you plan to launch attacks from that territory.
Absolutely, but I think he's going a little bit of the Cadian route, just like if I could just build as many forces, if I start losing a lot, or
and that's totally fair. But you would think defenses would be a more useful.
Yeah, definitely some defenses and maybe some resources, maybe communications.
All right, so the Lions Risen, building up their forces in J1, bumping that up to 7 force units. That's going to help in their current, battle against the forces of chaos in the upper right-hand corner there.
And then we have the Ultramarines just building up more defenses, possibly preparing for an orc invasion.
Or they're planning on making some moves on that
against the artifact too.
Against the artifact, but that brings their defenses in that territory up to 4.
That's a lot of defenses.
4 defenses is a pretty envious thing to have when you're fighting in territory.
And then we have the Guardians of the Temple. The other Ultramarine player is also going to build some more houses and more regions for it at D3.
Yep.
So you could try to get as many people in there as possible.
Yeah, it bumps D3 up to a force rating of 7.
Yep.
So pretty reasonable. Purple Death, we're going to try and raise our resource rating in H1 to try and replace the forces we just dumped out of there.
Oh, for sure. Building more Gretchen houses. And then we have the Knights.
Nope, Tau.
Oh, it's the Tau. I apologize. It is the Farsight Expedition Force is going to build more houses at H5 with boosting that out from a 7 region to an 8.
Yeah, that gives them a full 2,000 points to play with as far as defense goes in H5, which is where all the Knights are bordering them. Since the Knights can't really build infrastructure, that'll make it very challenging for the Knights to take that territory if they want to fight against the Tau. That gives them 2 border territories in I5 and H5 that have the full 2,000 points. So the Knights will basically have to invade them multiple times if they want to take those over. So.
Absolutely. And also those Knights, I mean, Tau have really good guns.
It's true. C5, we got the Talons of the Emperor building their forces up some more. That'll bump them up to 9.
And then we have the War Squad is going to build some more Gretchen houses at I2.
Yeah, that's a pretty smart move. You've already got 3 resources there, so that'll bump you up to 9. It's a nice multiple of 3, so that'll give you a pretty good stronghold, hopefully, if you can hold on to it.
Oh, yeah.
Crimson Slaughter's got their eyes on some more territories.
I'm more than happy to play Kevin one more time, even though he tabled me last time. It was fun.
All right, Pedro's Raiders in F3, they're bumping up their housing. That'll bump them up to 8.
Yeah.
That gives them a pretty good defense. Looks like they're buffering against the Orcs or making a play on the artifact, one of the two. Or maybe the Knights. I don't know. There's a lot of action going on in the center.
There's a lot of tension in that area, a lot of pressure.
That's right.
And then we have the Mids are consuming more of the Eastern Hemisphere, just building up as many forces at L3.
That is a 6th territory that the Tyranids have been able to consume. So they have successfully consumed the territory every turn of this campaign. They get 2 campaign points every time they eat a region.
Absolutely.
So that's definitely giving them a bump in the leaderboard. And as long as they can keep capturing new territories and consuming them, they're going to have an edge on winning at the end of the game.
I'm just looking at this Eastern Hemisphere and going like, there's not a lot of other places he can consume from this outside.
The southeastern part of the map has been pretty well devoured by Tyranid.
And then we have the other Eldar with the craft worlds are going to build some more resources in that premium spot at A2.
Yeah, the craft world Ilvatar, that gives them 4 resource rating, along with a force rating of 10. So if they can hold on to that territory, they will have the ability to just pump out forces.
Yeah, possibly going the same route as demons, just jumping around the entire map with those webways.
Yeah, it's sort of an interesting move there. Like, you think he might have built a webway from there, but there's an imperial interest in that territory. You got to imagine that the Sons of Sanguinius and the Guardians of the Temple are eyeballing that A2 region.
That would make sense. Moving more regions right next to that border.
Yeah, that's an extra bonus point here at the end of the game. That could make the difference.
And then we have the Grey Knights, just kind of in that corner. Granted, they have fought tooth and nail for that corner. They're just building some more resources at A5, more houses for more knights.
That's right. That'll bump them up to 7 force units there. So they've definitely got a good, a good chunk. They've got those 5 hexes all bordering each other, all sitting at 6 or more force units. It's a good spot. Like, the Grey Knights have done a good job of developing those territories.
Absolutely. And then we have the Sons of Sanguinius, just building more houses from the territory they just got from the Sisters of Battle at B3.
Yep, continuing to build up their forces there in B3, holding on to that orc interest, knowing that orcs won't have time to make it there to claim it before the end of the campaign.
It's too far away.
It's too far away.
You can't do it.
Brings a tear to my orky eye, but we won't be able to get to that one. All right, Golden Dynasty building houses in L2. Very smart move.
Absolutely.
That place is producing 3 force units of Necrons every turn right now, so building your capacity is only going to help.
Yeah, and he is surrounded by a lot of Chaos Nids.
The Necrons are in a rough spot. They're surrounded by Tyranids, Chaos Space Marines, Chaos Demons, Ultramarines, and Eldar.
Oh, whoa!
So, and Grey Knights.
But they have the ability to jump around, so we'll see what he does. All right. And then we have these Sons. I'm sorry, I apologize. The Crimson Slaughter. They are going to build in L4, just more resources.
Yeah, that L4 has become.
It's getting up there.
That'll give it a resource rating of 4. Man, if I were the Tyranids, I'd be seriously looking at that bad boy, because eating it's
going to be a lot of units that way.
Yeah, they give you a full army in one fell swoop. So, all right, so we'll take one last look here at the build map. So this is all the build actions for this turn. For those of you guys watching at home, take a look at that. There's a lot of building still going on. Surprisingly, no communications built this turn, and only one region built defenses. So with that, and everybody's focused on forces and resources. What that tells me is that people are really focused on the offensive in the next couple of campaign turns.
Yeah, everyone is trying to gear up for the big invasions as much as possible, especially with those units building resources. They're going to start pumping out lines.
Yeah, and looking at the map, I mean, every army has a handful of regions for the most part.
Yeah.
They've got good armies built up. I think these next few turns, it's anybody's game still at this point.
At this point, I would imagine so.
I mean, since holding territories is the primary way of earning campaign points, and you can lose 2, 3, maybe even 4 regions in a turn, depending on how bad your luck is. So, yeah.
I mean, there's going to be a lot of invading, I'm imagining.
Yep, let's take a look at those invasions.
Oh, yeah.
Let's move into the attack round. Turn 6, everyone's deep in it now. So here is the map after all of the build actions have been accounted for. So this is the pristine map before the bloodbath begins. So our first attack of the day.
Yeah.
And these are being presented in, I believe, initiative order, but please check the initiative chart to double check.
Because initiative is going to come and play here.
Yeah, there's a lot of craziness going on.
The first person who you get the first shot off is going to take the first battle.
Yep, we're gonna play these battles by initiative order. We're gonna resolve them by initiative order because there's gonna be some crazy stuff happening here. So we're gonna have to stick to that. So the first battle, a bold move, I will say, by the Tau, moving 5 force units in against the Purple Death's 6 defenders. They got a defense of 3 in that territory. The edge definitely goes to the orcs.
Yeah, of course.
So again, bold move by the Tau.
Yeah, well, the Tau, I'm finally excited for them to start playing here.
Right.
But across the map, we have the Rivals of Corn attacking from E6 to all the way to A1.
Yeah, that's one heck of a Hail Mary. So the Rivals of Corn demons, using their special ability that basically lets them attack wherever they want to, moving all the way across the map to take out the last laugh, or take on the last laugh in their home territory of A1, where they have 7 force units against the 8 of the invaders.
That's a ton.
But since the Eldar are very, very fast, at the exact same time, they're going to move 1 force unit back.
Oh, initiative is so important.
Initiative is very important. So that move is going to happen at the same time as the invasion, which means those forces will be present, bumping the last laugh up to 8 force units just in time for the demons to arrive.
I am going to have to say that this is going to be an uphill battle with the demons due to the fact that there is a defense rating there, and it is big.
Yeah, that defense rating of 4 is going to make it a challenge for the demons, but the demons are cranking out resources right now. They've got they've got a couple of territories. One of their territories is pumping out 4 demons a turn.
Absolutely.
So they can afford maybe to have some losses here. It's not really going to cost them a whole lot, but if they win that territory, that is a huge win for them.
Absolutely.
And a huge loss for the Eldar. So that's going to be a fight to watch.
And then we have the Knights Risen attacking the Rivals of Corn from J1 to K1 into that corner there with 5 force units.
Yep, the Lions Risen, the Dark Angels there on a quest or a crusade against the foul demons of chaos. They are pushing in, and they are single-minded of purpose. So we'll have to see if the Dark Angels can keep pushing them back.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a big deal right there. So
that's going to be a very even match, and I expect the Lion coming into play here and getting on the board for the first time in this campaign.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see.
Ooh.
All right, so here we've got an interesting move. We've got the Adeptus Custodes sending 5 force units up against 6 force units of Imperial Knights. Not a fight I would want to pick, but maybe he's got something up his sleeve. We'll have to see.
Last turn, these Knights took a lot of punishment, so maybe he's thinking about making a play there. But across the map, we have the Grey Knights. Now, the borders are open, so he's actually going to attack from all the way from A5 to L5.
That's right.
And just invade the Tau Empire.
So the Grey Knights sending 5 force units around the world, wrapping the map to come back to L5 to take on the Tau's 6 force units of defenders. With 3 defense rating, that's an uphill battle for the Grey Knights. So I'm not sure what they're thinking there, but if they win that, that'll give them a foothold on the eastern side of the map and definitely, take the wind out of the Tau's sails.
Of course.
All right, so now the Purple Death, they're making their move. They've built up a WOG.
Yeah.
They've got 12 force units sitting in F2.
Yeah.
They're going to send 8 of them crashing into the Ultramarines in E2.
The big wall.
That's right. They've got a slight advantage with 8 against 6, and not a huge defense rating there in E2. So the Orcs have a little bit of an edge, but I'm telling you, those Space Marines are tough.
They're very shooty. They've got to answer to everything.
They've made every battle I've fought with them in very difficult. So I'm looking forward to that battle a lot and seeing how it goes.
I'm looking forward to it too. And then we have just a build action into the evade. The Guardians of the Temple or just going to build some more force units in D3 just around that artifact. And then maybe this is why the Tau was so bold.
Right? So this makes a little more sense. Now, we've got the Imperial Knights. I guess they just took too much of a whooping from the Space Marines and the Adeptus Custodes last turn, so they decided to turn around and run away from those guys, and they've decided to bring it to the Orcs. Well, bring it. It's an interesting move with the Tau being in first place and the Imperial Knights being in second place. Joining forces, you think they'd be fighting against each other a little bit more to really solidify their place in the campaign.
Maybe the Knights just want an easy win. At least that's what they think they want.
Well, maybe. We'll see. I don't know. 10 force units of Tau and Imperial Knights is probably more than a match for 6 force units of Orcs, but we're going to find out.
Yep. There's going to be a lot of green everywhere.
All right, so Tyranids making the long play, wrapping the map, sending 8 force units into A3 of the Guardians of the Temple. That's a pretty nice territory to take. 2 resources, 8 forces. That's going to be a pretty even match.
Yeah, I remember even before the action submissions were even open, they're like, yeah, the border's open, let's fight. And I just appreciate that gusto, like, let's go.
Absolutely. And I imagine that we'll see some of those tyrannic war veterans on the field. At least I would hope so.
I would hope so as well.
So that's going to be a great fight to see. Then we've got the Sons of Sanguinius sending 8 force units into the Eldar.
Ooh, 8 force units against the 10? Well, I guess 8 against 8, but yeah.
Still an interesting move, but there is that Imperial interest there, which makes that A2 more valuable than a regular territory.
Absolutely.
Also, if I was the Blood Angels, I don't know that I would want the Eldar at my doorstep like that. They're surrounded by 3 hexes of Eldar.
Yeah.
So this might be a way to sort of push them back. Yeah. That'll be a pretty even battle.
Yeah, absolutely. Even battle I'm definitely interested in seeing what happens from that. But we're attacking Knights again from E5 to F5, so along with the other Custodes.
Yep. So now, the Talons of the Emperor, they have jumped in and lent 8 force units to the invasion on F5. So while the Imperial Knights are over here helping the Tau attack the Orcs, the 2 different Adeptus Custodes armies are just continuing to pound them from the west. The last battle they fought did not go so well for the Knights.
Yeah, but he fought like 3 battles in the day. I was impressed.
They were very short battles though.
But that was true.
And they don't really have anywhere to run, so it'll be an interesting to see how that resolves.
Mm-hmm.
Now the Imperial Knights are down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 territories. They had 7 last turn. It looks like they're going to lose another one here.
Possibly.
Possibly. I mean, that's 13 units of Custodes.
I believe in you, Corey the King. Even though you betrayed the Greenskins, but it's okay.
That's all right. We love it.
We love the big the big Stampa units.
All right. And then, okay. So now things just got real interesting. If you look up there at Hex A2, not realizing that the Sons of Sanguinius are about to attack.
Okay.
Iluvatar sends 8 of their 10 force units to jump into a fight between the Ultramarines and the Tyranids. So now that is super interesting. So the Tyranids, they're down to 3 hexes.
Yeah.
If they don't win this fight, it becomes very difficult for them to expand, and it limits their ability to win the campaign. So they have to win over here in A3 to really move forward meaningfully.
Yeah.
The Guardians of the Temple, they can afford to lose that. No, they really can't. They've only got 2 other territories.
Yeah.
But Iluvatar, the Blood Angels are going to come at them with 8 force units while they only have 2 defenders. Not a pretty picture. Yeah. Meaning that if they don't win against the Tyranids and the Ultramarines, then I can just boot it off the map again.
I'm super happy. We're going to have to resolve this because this is where the initiative is going to go play. But does that mean it's going to be the first 4-way battle?
No, it's going to be a 3-way battle. because there's 3 armies that are attacking in one territory.
Oh, okay.
But, this might be something that the Tyranids enjoy, because this might be the first 3-way battle where it's genuinely 3 armies
fighting,
all fighting for a single win.
Yeah.
So a lot of the 3-way battles have been armies that are working cooperatively.
Yeah, it's more like alliance building. Hey, we join, I'll give you the territory, I'll back off.
Realistically, none of these armies can afford to lose here. Yeah, so because Ilvatar least of all.
Ilvatar, he's getting attacked by the Sons of Sanguinius. If he loses that territory, which he's sending those units out, is definitely 2 against 8. That's highly favors the Sons.
Rough.
And then he has to win this. If he does it, he gets eradicated again.
Yeah, that is going to be a battle to watch, everybody. So stay tuned for that one.
And then we got the Wall Squad. We just, the South seems to be heading south is the idea, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, so you were hoping for a fight there, but it looks like all of those forces are going to be out fighting me over in G3. So yeah, that'll be an interesting one. So if you take that over, if they're not successful in their fight in G3, those forces won't have anywhere to withdraw to, so you could end up losing all of them.
Unfortunately, yeah, it looks like because of how the map has turned out, having no roads to the other part of his empire, that's a big loss if they lose that.
Yeah, that was a huge risk, giving up that territory to the Tyranids, because it cut those forces off from the rest of his regions.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that plays out. All right. So Pedro's Raiders looking for a little payback.
Look, I love this rivalry that the Pedro's Raiders, the Crimson Fist against the Orcs, they have been gearing up the first half of this campaign, and since the second half has started, it has been a non-stop fight.
Absolutely. And this is going to be, this will be the 3rd time that I've faced Pedro's Raiders, but this will be the first time where we're dead even on force units. Ooh. 7 against 7. So I'm looking forward to that. I do have 4 defense, and I will use those. But this is gonna be awesome. I love fighting the Space Marines. I personally haven't really played a lot of Warhammer since 4th, 5th edition.
Okay.
So Space Marine units have changed a ton since I played regularly, and so it's really interesting to see how they work now.
As a new player coming into 40K, playing against the Space Marines, which I only know Orcs, I'm wowed by how effective they are.
I know so I'm looking forward to that fight. So I've got one fight here against the Ultramarines. I've got another fight against Pedro's Raiders. So that's going to be a lot of Space Marines in my future.
I feel like there's a little bit of retribution since last turn.
It's very possible.
Making enemies, but the Orcs love enemies. That means we're friends.
I mean, when the Orcs ask you to dance, it means they like you.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. So if it wasn't enough, the Ultramarines are sending 8 force units into F2 just as I leave to fight them in E2. So this is one of those things where initiative is going to come into play. So Jared, you're going to have to work out some schedules. I can fight a lot of battles, but it looks like I've got 4 of them. On my dance card is pretty full. So we'll have to see how we work that out. And it's all going to, initiative, like we said at the beginning, initiative's definitely going to come into play.
Initiative's going to come into play here. And it looks like you're the big bad of the campaign right now. You get you got a lot of attention coming at you.
I have lost. I'm 50-50 right now, and I've lost the last couple. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to it though.
This looks amazing.
Bring it on, Ultramarines.
Right, Oak says let's
right. Okay, and now the Sisters of Battle have entered the chat in L5. And they're bringing 5 force units.
Nice.
So the Grey Knights were the ones that eradicated them last turn.
Okay.
And here they are now fighting over some Tau territory.
I feel like the Tau is just kind of stuck in between these armies here.
So I'm interested. Is this a rematch or is this like a little cooperation because the Grey Knights feel bad for wiping them off the map?
If they had to cooperate, it would be against the Xenos here. So I'm imagining they're not going to take any prisoners. And then they'll fight it out afterwards.
Yeah, well, that's fair. So Tau getting hit in a couple of territories, being king of the hill, that's to be expected. They've got a lot of territories, and a lot of people have access to hit them. The Knights, They're second place right now.
Yeah.
Only getting hit in one spot, so there's likely that they won't change too much.
They got a lot of attention last turn. It looks like that attention has been reversed.
Except for everybody but the Custodes, apparently.
And the Custodes are on mission, man. They're like, these knights, they're done.
Absolutely. All right, so who else? We have more. I think we have more fights to announce here.
Oh, okay.
That's right. Last one's up. Golden Dynasty, using their special ability to just jump right over the top of the Tyranids, who the Tau have kind of been using like a shield for this entire campaign to this point. So the Necrons using their special ability to skip a hex.
Yeah, they're jumping over the Iron Current that is the Nids, and just going straight for blood here. In I-5. That's a lot of force units there.
Well, when they plotted that move, there were fewer force units there.
That is very true.
And so he reinforced it after they committed to their attack. So we're gonna see how that goes. 4 against 8. That's pretty darn risky, even if you do have Catan at your beck and call.
Yeah.
But
the Catan cannot die.
Let's see how that one turns out. So I believe those are all of the attacks. I'm going to double check real quick. Yep, sure enough. Okay, so guys, this is the map, the attack map, as it were. So gaze upon the carnage that is turn 6, everybody.
This is not even turn 7 yet.
No, and the best part is look at all of these full force armies being thrown around.
Oh, there's a lot of 8s. There's a lot of 2,000 points going around.
Yeah.
Like, this is what everyone's been building up, just like a giant, big pressure cooker.
It's the last 3 turns of the campaign, so this is it, man. It's go big or go home time, right?
Yeah. A lot of people got to make a lot of plays, but what I have noticed, that E4, that artifact, still not touched.
Yeah, I think so. Whoever has the artifact is going to be a target. Now, the Adeptus Custodes, they've only got 2 territories, which means that while they're holding it, they don't really show up very high on the leaderboard, right? They're in the top 10, but they're not at the top. So I think folks are content to let them hold on to it for now. I imagine that will change drastically turn 7 and 8.
Absolutely. And I feel like we just apologize, guys. The Crimson Slaughter has also attacked.
Oh, is there another attack on here? Oh.
I believe it is at L4 against the
you are correct.
I believe A5 against the Grey Knights.
Yep.
Just breaking around that corner there, and trying to make a good show of it. They're bringing a lot of units, I believe. Just going off of memory here, guys.
Yeah, let me double check that real quick. But good catch. Thank you for catching that one.
As we are looking up at that, there's a lot of potential in this campaign, especially with the last 3. Everyone has been building up, and that artifact. Yeah. There's going to be someone who wants it at some point. Maybe everyone's just trying to fight around it like a big just tornado situation.
Yeah, something like that. But just for clarification, for those of you guys listening in at home, the Crimson Slaughter do have an attack logged. I missed it adding it to the map here. I apologize for that. They are sending 7 force units from L4 to A5. I think they were probably expecting a fight there.
Yep.
But the Grey Knights decided to send 5 of their force units out, so they're only going to meet 1 force unit of opposition.
But if he takes that, that's going to be extra campaign points in his favor. Finally, some chaos against the Imperium.
Yeah, and it's going to break up the Grey Knights' little cluster there. So
yeah, the chaos come knocking.
We'll see how that goes. All right, so that's the map, everybody. This weekend is going to be crazy. Stay tuned for the schedule. I will post as much of this information as possible to our Discord as soon as I can get back to a place with internet. For those of you guys that have been paying attention, we had some crazy dangerous winds that damaged a lot of buildings and infrastructure in town here last night, and then apparently there's some wildfires today.
Wow!
So while the world is ending, we're gonna try.
I gotta play 40K, Jason.
I know. So we're going to get all this together here. Bear with us as we navigate some technical difficulties with the internet and everything.
Absolutely. Keep an eye on the Discord for more information. There's going to be a lot of fighting this weekend. So any scheduling issues, please let us know as soon as possible once you get this information.
That's right. So, yeah, a lot of battles happening this weekend.
You know what? I wanted this to happen turn 1. I'm kind of happy it's happening turn 6. So because this is a lot.
It is going to be great.
It's going to be fun to watch.
All right. So get your armies together. Pay attention for the schedule. And get ready for this weekend. And until then, I'm Jason.
I'm Jared.
And we'll see you
on the battlefield.